Hey, future badass business owner. So you want to open up a window cleaning business, and this is a fantastic business for you to open. There's so many pros to having this business. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to walk through the steps that you need to take in order to get this new business off the ground. Now, first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that this is the right business for you. The reason is you're going to be spending a lot of time doing it, and it's not necessarily for everyone. While it is very cheap to get going and it's a very easy business to make some really good money in it, you are going to be outside. So if you don't like being cold and you don't like being hot, then you need to really seriously rethink this, because if you're in a cold weather area, you're going to be cleaning windows even when it's really cold out and windy, and if it's really hot, 100, 115 degrees, you're going to be outside doing that. If you don't like ladders, you're going to be climbing up and down a lot of ladders, and you're going to be doing this a lot, whether you're part-time or full-time. So it's really important that you make sure that this is going to be the right business, and that you don't just see the dollar signs, that you picture a day in the life of what you're going to be doing. Now, the number one thing that everybody needs to do before they start their business is to do their research. And this includes you, because even though it seems like a simple business to do, you're still going to have some research to do. It's going to save you time and money, and that we make plenty of profits in the business. Now, what are you going to research? Well, there's three key areas. The first one is competition. The second one is the legal requirements that you're going to have, and any money needs that you're going to have. When it comes to the competition, what we're looking for is we want to look at the big ones and the small ones. In your particular case, with a window cleaning business, there's not a lot of big box retailers and big competitors that you're going to have to deal with. So that's a good thing. But what you want to do is find those that are doing what it is that you're going to be doing. What do they do poorly? What do they do well? A lot of times we focus on only what they do wrong, but you need to find out what they do well, because you need to find out why people are calling them and what they love about them, because between the two of them, it's going to help you figure out how you're going to stand out over the competition, what's going to give you that leg up. But you need to really understand your competition and what they do well and what they don't. You also need to figure out what's the quality of the products or services that they do. What types do they do? What do they charge? You need to understand, do they just do residential? Do they do commercial? Do they do a combination? Do they charge by the window? You need to make sure that you're looking at every little bit of it, because some windows are easier than others. Obviously, a plain window is going to be easier to do than one with a lot of the grids inside of them, the mullets, if you will, is what they're called. But you want to make sure that you go through and you find out how they charge. This is not a race to the bottom. It's not about you finding the cheapest price that you can go into. It's about you finding the most competitive price for you to do. All right. Another thing, you don't just want to be another window cleaning business. You want to focus on the pain point you solve, so this way you can stand out. What is it? You don't want to just say, hey, I clean windows. You want to come up with something that's cute and clever that people can remember you by. It might be something as simple as so you can see the beautiful views that you have, or whatever the case would be. Figure out, most people don't clean their windows because they don't have the time, energy to do it. So what you're doing, that's the pain point. They want clean windows, but at the same time is they don't want to be the ones that do it, or they don't have the time to do it. So you want to focus in how you can give them back their time by taking care of the window problem for them. So just find out what's the pain point that you're actually going to solve. It's not just the fact they have dirty windows. That what causes them to call somebody is because they personally can't do it. That's the pain point that you're looking at doing. Now, legal requirements, you want to find out, are you going to be an LLC versus a DBA? LLC is a legal entity that you file with the state. DBA is doing business as, so a lot of times you're doing business as your own person. And usually as people grow their business, they give it a name. At the end of the day, you need to make sure you check with each state, because they're going to determine what requirements you have. By the way, most window cleaners just do it as a DBA. Rarely do they go as an LLC unless they get so big and they start hiring more people. So more than likely, you're going to focus on that DBA. You just need to find out what the state's requirements are for you. More legal requirements that you're going to take a look at are any licensing that you need to have, any permits that you need to have, any insurance that you need to have. You are going to be up on a ladder and on people's property, so make sure you don't underestimate the fact that you might need insurance. Once again, check with the city, the county, and the state. Check with all three because they all three might have different requirements of what you're supposed to do. Now, as far as funds needed, you need to check into the different areas: tools, equipment, vehicle, brick and mortar, advertising. You're not going to be using a brick and mortar, and you might be doing some forms of advertising. I think you can do a lot of it by word of mouth in the very beginning for your particular business, but you are going to have some tools and equipment. Like I said, this is a very easy business to get up and running. A squeegee and a bucket of water. I mean, it's that simple, and you can reinvest your funds into your business. It's one of the easiest businesses to get started with, just taking stuff out of your garage. So that's a nice thing. You want to make sure you know how you're going to get paid. Are you going to be doing invoicing, bidding, especially if you take on bigger jobs? You might be going out to people's homes, giving them a bid for their entire home, especially if you don't just do it by window, because they can count out, I got 10 windows. It's going to cost $15 a window, whatever the case may be. But you want to make sure that you figure out how you're going to be doing this. If you're going to have an accounting, especially as you get bigger and bigger, it could be a bookkeeping system. You can be doing all these. You can either have a person do it, or you can do it with online tools that are out there. You just need to make sure you research how are you going to do it, because at the end of the day, you want to get paid, and there's way too many people not getting paid. Marketing and branding, you want to make sure that you dive in. How are they even going to know that you exist? What's going to be your marketing plan? You need to have a plan in place. How are you going to get the word out about your new business? Now, there's a lot of free ways to market and some paid ways. Free word of mouth, Google Business, set up one of those Google pages, a Bing Business page, Facebook, just talking to people, get in front of real estate agents, stuff like that. Paid, Facebook ads, postcards, flyers. I don't think you're going to need paid advertising, especially in the beginning. I think you're going to find yourself doing plenty of work if you just get out there and hustle and get to meet people, network, and do those things like that. It's going to help you out. Hiring people, odds are you're not going to hire a team. You might get so big that you do. You're going to want to make sure you hire the best. You have a training onboarding plan and how you're going to pay them. But like I said, most of the time you're probably going to do it yourself unless the business just really takes off. So I don't think you need to worry about having a team. But now that you've got all this information, you need to put it together because you need to have a plan. You don't want to just jump out there and start cleaning windows, although that's how a lot of them have done it. Now, the question is, do you need a business plan? Honestly, a business plan, a traditional business plan anyways, is when you need to borrow money or buy a franchise. That's not what you're going to do. Now, are there some franchises for window cleaning? Yes. And if you're going to go that route, then you probably will need a business plan that'll offer that. But for most of you, you just need what I call a success plan, because you still want to have a plan in place, taking all that research data you did and coming up with how you're going to make the business look and what are you going to do, how are you going to make money, how are you going to market yourself, all that stuff. You just want to brain dump all of that research that you've done and create the success plan. Now, I just want you to slow down for one sec, because there's one area that's often overlooked. People dive into their business and they don't realize you need to understand your business numbers. You don't want to wake up one day finding out that you've been working 50, 60, 70 hours and you're not making any money. So it's really important you understand pricing, margin, markup, profit and loss statement. There's so many different business numbers, but even if you just focus on the core ones, it's going to help you out. You're going to have a profit and loss statement, which is going to basically be the report card of the business. There's a saying, sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals your profits. You need to understand the flow of money through your business. Even in such a simple business, you are still going to have a flow of your money in and out of the business. Remember, you're not just creating a job, you are creating a business. So you need to start from day one treating it like a business. You are not just a window cleaner. You have a window cleaning business. There is a big difference. So make sure that you always keep that in mind. And if you ever want to learn more on any of these topics as well as your business numbers, just check out the YouTube videos that I have. And then there's also 2 courses that you can take at any given time that's also going to help you get your business up and running and starting being successful from the very beginning and to learn your business numbers. If interested, you can go to either of these 2 websites. They're also in the notes below. But if you like what you've seen so far, make sure you hit that like button, hit that bell for more training that's coming out. I'd love to be able to continue to help you on your journey. Now get out there and be the badass that I know you are.